Hey, I'm sure you've been in that situation where you've been out filming and everything looks great, but you're looking on this tiny little monitor that you have on your phone or your camera. And then when you get home and put it on a big monitor, you see that some of the images are fuzzy or soft or not quite in focus. And this can be frustrating. Now the tricky part is that it may not just be one thing causing the blur. Different scenarios and settings may cause different types of blur. And if we fix or think we fix and adjust the wrong thing, then your video will still be blurry. So before we can fix a focus blur, we got to figure out what type of focus blur we're seeing. So let's take a look at the three most common types. What does focus blur look like? Well, your background can be perfectly sharp, but your main subject is fuzzy or soft looking. Or you might see the camera hunting back and forth, trying to figure out what to focus on. So why does this happen? Human eyes possess the ability to see things that are close to us, as well as things that are farther away. Our brains can process a squirrel just in front of us, as well as distant forest 10 to 20 feet behind it. But a digital camera can't see the whole scene the same way we can. It operates on mathematical principles. So the camera has a hard time determining what to focus on: the squirrel's fur or the texture of the trees and leaves behind the background. The camera may first try to focus on the background forest about 20 feet away, and the trees might become crystal clear and in focus. But because the squirrel is so close to the camera lens, it's completely dissolved into a fuzzy blur. Now the camera realizes the squirrel isn't in focus, so it tries something else. It shifts its focus much closer, about 2 feet away from the lens, and now the squirrel is perfectly sharp, but the forest behind it is now blurry. Unlike you and me, the camera can't look at the scene and decide, that's close enough. So it just keeps doing the math, and it tries focusing on the forest, then the squirrel, and then back to the forest again. But because it can't make both sharp at the same time, it gets stuck bouncing back and forth, trying to solve a problem that simply has no solution. And this is what causes focus hunting. And it's especially hard if there's not enough contrast or distance between your subject and the background, like this monkey and the rocks that have a similar color and shade. But the camera can also lock onto something that you weren't expecting. Like in this case, instead of focusing on me, it decided to focus on the lamp nearest to the camera, and not the person coming into the frame. So we end up with me and the boat slightly out of focus. Or in this scene, where instead of locking onto me, the camera locked onto the palm tree, again leaving me slightly soft looking. It's usable, but not what I actually wanted. Now this gets much worse in low light, especially if you're using a phone or a pocket-sized camera that has small sensors, compared to a larger mirrorless camera with a large sensor. To lock focus, your camera needs to see contrast, like the edge of a dark jacket where it meets a light wall. But when the light starts to disappear, so does that contrast. Everything begins to blend together. Small sensors don't capture much light, so they struggle to see these edges clearly. and the camera isn't sure what to actually focus on anymore. So it starts focus hunting. It moves the lens forward and then backward, searching for something sharp to lock onto. If it can't find a clear edge, it just keeps searching and your video drifts in and out of focus. But don't get fooled. Hunting and focus mistakes don't just happen in the dark. You can get the same issue right in the middle of a bright sunny day. Now, cameras naturally look for sharp patterns and textures to lock onto, and they usually default to whatever is closest to the camera lens. Take a look at this shot. Here I'm walking along a path down below, but because the trees and the leaves hang down right in front of the camera lens, the camera gets distracted and then locks onto them. Even though there's plenty of daylight, the camera locks directly onto the branches up close, leaving the actual subject further away, completely blurred out. So how do we fix it? Now, the good news is that most focus problems are actually pretty easy to solve. Now, every camera is a little bit different. An iPhone, pocket type camera, action cameras, and mirrorless cameras all have different buttons and menus, but the concept is exactly the same. Every camera gives you a way to tell it what you want to focus on. In this course, we're focusing on the concepts that work across almost every camera. Then in my camera-specific masterclasses, I'll show you exactly where to find these exact settings on your camera. But regardless of what you're shooting with, these 5 tips will solve most focus problems. Tap on the thing you want to focus on. You're telling the camera, focus here, so it's not going to try to guess. Autofocus works best when there's plenty of light. If you're filming outside, try to shoot before it gets too dark, like just after sunset, which is called blue hour. Or move to a brighter location with more lighting. If you're indoors, turn on a lamp or some of the lights to help light up the scene. The more light the camera has, the easier it is to find focus. Every lens has a minimum focus distance, so do a simple online search to find out the value for the camera or your lens. If you're standing too close to the subject, the camera simply can't focus. And taking a small step back is often all it takes to help find focus again. If your subject isn't moving, lock your focus. That stops the camera from constantly searching, especially in low light. But this is also a great habit to get into before you press record, whether you're shooting in daylight or at nighttime. It sounds obvious, but fingerprints and dirt can make it harder for the camera to see clearly. A quick wipe of the lens takes a few seconds and can save you a lot of frustration. However, don't be tempted to use your t-shirt. This can leave oil from your skin or sweat directly on the lens, making it worse. Make sure to carry and use a microfiber cloth. Now, if you remember just one thing from this lesson, remember this. Don't make the camera guess. Tell it exactly what you want to focus on. Now it's important to remember that not all blurry videos are caused by bad focus. Sometimes your camera has focus perfectly, but your video still looks a little bit blurry. That's because of something called motion blur. And let's take a look at that next. Now before you go, this video is actually a lesson from a new course that I'm building called Video Essentials. And I'm trying something a little bit different. Rather than just go through the same old, this is the best camera settings, and you don't know why you're doing it, I'm starting with actual problems we all run into, like blurry footage, and then looking at it and trying to figure out why it happens and how we can fix it. So I'd really like your feedback if you found this type of lesson useful, or this is the kind of thing you'd like to see more of. Just leave me a comment down below and let me know. It'll really help me out as I continue building the course. Alright, thanks and cheers for now.